Sejam muito bem-vindos ao Cultura de Excelência. Eu sou a Karen Ross e prazer receber vocês aqui. Aqui na Voitto teremos encontros semanais onde vamos conversar com mulheres de todo o mundo sobre propósito, processos, melhora de processos e gentileza. Hi everyone, I'm Karen Ross. How are you? It's a pleasure to welcome you here. Here at Voitto, we'll be having weekly meetings where we'll talk with fabulous women from around the world about purpose, process improvement, and kindness. Before we get started today, if you haven't done so already, please make sure to use our QR code, which you can see on the screen right here, to download our handbook for this whole Cultura de Excelencia web series. And inside the handbook, you're going to find all of the different insights from the different episodes, lots of other links and materials to give you even more great information. So if you haven't done so already, just use the QR code. It's totally easy and simple, and download the handbook. Today, I'm super excited because we are going to have a fabulous guest with us, Canais Medina, and she is in Portugal. And I met Anna because I was speaking at a conference and we got to know each other. And maybe some of you don't know, but the way that I learned process improvement was to start at home. I started by practicing on my laundry process. And Anna has written a fabulous book, Familias Lean. And today we're going to talk about how to apply lean in everyday life. So I'm super excited to welcome Anna today.
Hi, Karen. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you.
You are very welcome. Can you tell people a little bit about you, where you're coming to us from? And I think you could do it in Portuguese.
Absolutely. Vou falar um pouco mais devagar para que todos me percebam. Portanto, o meu nome é Canais Medina. Eu estudei Engenharia Ambiental, mas só trabalhei um ano em Engenharia Ambiental. Trabalhei cerca de 15 anos em gestão de qualidade, implementação, consultoria, auditoria e muito em ISO 9001, nas certificações, e já nessa altura se falava um pouco de melhoria contínua, mas era uma melhoria contínua para cumprir um standard e muitas vezes forçado. Então, ao fim desses 15 anos, eu decidi mudar um pouco o rumo profissional e fazer uma pós-graduação em Lean Management e certificação de Lean Coaching. Então, há 5 anos para cá, estou exclusivamente a trabalhar em melhoria contínua. Atualmente faço parte do grupo de excelência operacional da Ovion, que é uma indústria farmacêutica com sede em Portugal, mas com fábricas em Macau, na Irlanda e New Jersey. E, portanto, a minha vida é isto. Profissionalmente e a nível pessoal, eu vivo a melhoria contínua.
Thank you so much. And I'm super excited because my Portuguese is improving because I could understand a lot of what you're saying. So I'm super happy.
Muito bom.
And I'm so happy that you're able to join us because so often I hear from women and other people that they can't do lean because they don't have a process to practice on, and maybe they're not in a lean role at home and they can't, a lean role at work, and they don't know how to get started. But I always think, well, we're not two separate people. We're one person, the same person at work as we are at home, and we have so many great opportunities to practice and learn at home. We have our laundry process, we have our, preparing the food process, taking care of children, taking care of our families. There's so many wonderful opportunities to practice. So can you tell us how you decided to write a book about lean in the family?
Yes. So actually, during my thesis of the post-graduation, I I was doing it on labs, services lab. I was going to already doing my job here. I already had some good results. That was going to be it, and I had it very organized. I was training everybody. I was changing the culture. Everybody was engaged. But on the way going to work and coming back, I had that nagging feeling in my head that is everything is okay at work, everything is so organized, but then I come home and I have the feeling that I have no time, that my house is a mess. And because I have to say, some people are, I say they are born with the chip of the organization. My I'm not. My husband is not in genetics works like that. So if both parents are not, my three kids are not. So it started with the need. It's where lean should start. It's with the need. And one of those days driving home, I said, I have to do this at home. So I turned my thesis into a lean application of lean at home at the for the family, okay, for the whole. And then when I presented my thesis, I was invited to publish in form of the book. It was a good surprise for me.
It's it's totally fabulous, and I think that is also so important now during the time of COVID when so many people have been at home, and especially for women, so many women I know here in the United States and in Brazil and around the world, when we're at home, we still have to take care of the family, we have to take care of children, we have to do everything else. So having that lean way of actually working in the family, I think is actually even more important now than it was before. What do you think?
It is much more important. So when we speak about mental health, I really believe that lean contributes to improve your mental health, because most of all is taking those heavy weights, the waste, right, out of our daily work, either at home, either if you're working from home, or on your domestic tasks, or uh, raising kids. It takes the waste out of you and gives you a clear way of thinking and knowing exactly what you have to do. And it definitely increases your happiness. It helps you through these days in COVID times.
I agree. We can just have the joy and the value, right? The joy and the value instead of that waste. So, how can lean thinking actually help us to solve those everyday problems that every single one of us has?
Oh, it will definitely help. There is, when you have a problem, I always say, love the problem. Okay, so you have, for you to tackle it, you have to know exactly what the problem is, and then apply lean thinking. This way of knowing what it is that it's important for you, what value is for you, and how to improve it. It will definitely help to improve on your professional life, your personal life, or your family life. It's just a matter of knowing what the problem is, how to address it, and then get to a better place.
I totally agree with you. And as I was saying earlier, the first problem I ever solved and worked on with lean thinking was how to improve my laundry process. And the reason I chose that problem was that I would start doing the laundry on Saturday morning. It's the weekend when I first woke up, and then I wouldn't finish doing the laundry until Sunday night. I'd be putting the clothes away. And every Sunday night, my husband and the children would be sitting and watching TV, and they were having a fabulous time. And nobody ever said, "Oh, Mom, can we help you?" But and so
They
every
never do.
never
They
do.
never do.
And every Sunday night they were happy. But you know what I was? I was mad.
I know, and feeling miserable. I know that.
And so I thought, oh, the customer, me, is not satisfied. And if I'm grumpy, if mom is grumpy, everybody is going to be grumpy. So I thought if I can make this process better and I'm happier, my whole family is going to be happier.
That is my current challenge right now. When I first started Lean at home, that was not my challenge. They were younger. So my main challenge was getting things organized, and also the time that we waste traveling around, especially from home to work, then three different schools. That was my main challenge. But right now, with I have two teenage girls and one younger boy, uh, the clothes are just humongous. So I inclusively calculated what's the tag time that I need to do. I right now I refuse to take care of laundry or ironing during the weekend, because if they relax during the weekend, I want to be relaxed during the weekend. So I calculated how many pieces of laundry do I have to do a day or iron during the day, 5 days a week, in order to relax during the weekend.
I
So
under, I
I
under,
understand you.
yes. So now I can do my laundry in 2 hours before, of course, my children grew up and moved out. But even before my husband wakes up in the morning on Saturday, I can finish the laundry because we as women, we work really hard at work and at home. And we want to relax on the weekend too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I agree with you. Love your problem.
Love the problem and address it.
Yes. And now this whole idea of, our family really exists as a whole family unit and we as women exist as part of that. We're like a team, right? A family is like a team. So how important is kindness and teamwork in applying continuous improvement actually in our home life?
It is very important. It's not just at home, it's everywhere. I mean, you can do without kindness, but it's so much harder, and it's not sustainable. So there's no way to do it without it, because in the end, it's not sustainable, or without teamwork. It's how we were talking about the laundry, right? We get annoyed if we do not have that teamwork. So we have to have that collaboration. Uh, we should work as a gear to get the better to get the better results, and just do it with kindness.
I
Um,
agree because especially we're our children's first teacher of kindness. Our children look at us, they're going to learn all the lean continuous improvement things we do. They also have to learn that respect for people and kindness for from us as well.
Absolutely.
When,
If we do not respect others, they will not respect us.
exactly. When I was working on improving my laundry process, my son came along and I had a basket of my work clothes that I was that had to go from the washer into the dryer. But actually, I like to hang up my work clothes. But he wanted to be kind, and so he took that basket and he put all my work clothes into the dryer. And when I came home, he was like, "Mom, I helped you. I was kind. I know your work." And my first instinct was to be like,
Oh no.
everything is going to be shrunk to. So it was good practice for me not to do that because, of course, he was a young child that he was trying to help out. And you know what happened?
You lost.
Actually, none of the clothes shrunk.
Oh.
They were all fine. I had made an incorrect assumption. And then I found out, oh, I don't have to do waste all this time to hang them up. So, can you imagine how terrible it would have been if I would have been unkind to him, because what he did really taught me something more about the process.
You'd have lost a part of the PDCA.
Correct, and I would have lost a part of the team willing to help me again, right?
Absolutely.
That is, we're all a team, whether at work or whether at home.
Absolutely.
So, what tips would you give us for teaching waste reduction and some of those things, and encouraging our children to think and develop their problem solving?
Um, about teaching, what I feel that if I try to teach them and if I tell them that I'm teaching them, they will not accept it, especially with the teenage girls, because when they are teenagers, the parents know nothing. So I try not to teach, and I do things. I show them. So they learn by doing. They learn with the example. When they were younger, I tried to have visual management, like pictures with the organized rooms. This is how it should be, or some Kanban saying these are the tasks that you have to do. Um, right now, the teaching part, I don't formally teach. I try to show how to do it, and then someday they, just like your son, someday they just come and do it by themselves. Um, that's at least that's what works with me. I always say every family is different. So for some families it works on a different way. Actually, when we started, I had like a mini obey board, not an obey room, but an obey board, and with the goals, with what we had to do, the kanbans, and I was teaching them. And then as they grew older, in our PDCA, I just saw that it was not working. So they did not want to be taught. They did not want to be lectured. So I just show them, not show, but I just do. And then when they go around behind me and they do it on a similar way.
I
So
think I think that that is a unbelievably important advice for people, because sometimes as lean practitioners we're very enthusiastic,
yeah,
and we want to teach people every moment, right?
does not work. Not for me.
Not always work the same in our family, and people really, when you think about it, really do learn from the example. So when you show them, they might not do it exactly right now, but they probably will later on.
Yes, and problem solving is just the same. It's just a matter when we talk to them, we try to answer and explain things in a matter of addressing the problem, addressing what is exactly the problem, what is the root cause, what should I do. Uh, Not teaching these ways, but while we talk, go through all these steps, and it gets them on this evolution of thinking. Actually, I have this story. My middle daughter, she's on a school. Um, my husband organized. I don't know what the school is, but it's an online school which was created by Elon Musk, and they try to teach young kids with the same skills that they want them to have in Tesla. So
Yep.
they have kids all around the world in groups. They are together a couple of hours per week. And when they first started, when they applied to the school to be selected, they had to choose what were the important skills for someone to go on a space ship to go to Mars. And my daughter, we did not help her, so she recorded her application, and one of the first things she said was that to be a great leader of the team that goes to the to this spaceship to Mars, to this mission, the leader, the most important skills to have is problem solving. And I listen to that. That's my girl.
So
This is so we don't teach them. We just show them how to do it.
I love it. Lead by example, right?
Absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
do as I do. I love that, and it's so wonderful that your daughter has that opportunity
Yeah.
to be on that team and for that learning. That's totally wonderful. So, one of my favorite parts of each episode is that we get to answer questions from some of Voitto's students. So, here is the first one. Which lean tools would you recommend for us to be able to apply lean in personal finance, in managing our personal finances? That is a fabulous question.
Good question. Good question. Um, I started with an ocean canary. Okay, so not because it was one of my major problems that I had to address at the time because I was unemployed at the time when I took the post graduation. So we had just one income from my husband. So I did an ocean can read, which just not had the finance part, but also what were our goals, what we intended to do, what was our plan, and then if it's for finance purposes, and we really reduced our monthly costs, just get a normal table, do it on paper, do it on Excel, just put it down everything that you what your regular uh, things that you are that you have throughout the month, and the ones that come once a year, for instance, insurance, car insurance, whatever, and then just put it all together, have a table, and just be aware of it. But the, as I said before, the tool is not the important part. The important part is to know it. Either is it could be just on a diary on paper. Just put it out and know the problem, and then with the data that you have, see what you have to address.
I love that because a lot of times we go about doing spending money. We're not even conscious that we're spending money, right? We're out somewhere, we're doing something. Now it's so easy, like you're paying on your phone for things, you don't even pay attention. And that's that really good visual management too, when you write it out and you're conscious and you're seeing, oh,
I
maybe
did not do it before, so it was just as you said. I was spending money, and I did not know what I was spending on. Right now, I'm spending money, but I know what I'm spending on, and it's for things that add value for me,
I,
especially the ones that make us happy. Okay.
I think that's totally fabulous advice. So I'm going to suggest for everybody that start writing down their expenses, making them visible, and saying, "Is this giving me joy?" Or that's really about purpose, right? We should be
Yes.
purposeful about everything we do. All right. This student has asked, how do I identify the level of improvement in my family's process? And from that assessment, progress, and thinking, how do we know where we are now and how do we know where to go?
There, I did it with what we call the wheel of life. I don't know if you know it. So it's like a wheel with mine had 8 different sections. Okay, just like personal life, health, finance, cultural life, whatever you want to address, whatever you want to analyze. So I divided my wheel of life in 8 parts, and without telling the family what I was doing, I asked them, so grade this, for instance, how do you feel in terms of health from 1 to 10? And my son, he was pretty young when we did this, so I did it with smiley faces,
Oh,
a
I
very
love
unhappy to a very happy. So he was just pointing it, which one that he felt like that. That's how we first started. this is our as is situation, our starting situation. It could be for finance, uh, what are you saving each month, and then where you want to be in a year, for instance, or in 10 years time. So, but I did it with a wheel of life in these 8 sections. And then throughout all this process, all the tools that we applied, all the development that we have done, we calculated at the end, and it has increased. We had 3 major aspects that we wanted to get better by the end, which was our available time,
Mhm.
because we had very few quality time for us as a family. Okay, I know we all have 24 hours, and the way I divided it was we are at school or working 8 hours a day, we're sleeping 8 hours a day, there's 8 hours left. And of those 8 hours, I think we had like less than 1 hour of quality time. So we calculated that, and I said, for sure, I want to, in a year time, I want at least to duplicate this time. So time was very important for us. The finance part also, we had to increase the amount of money that we had available at the end of the project, and also our level of happiness. For instance, also very linked with this matter of the added value time, we spent around 3 to 4 hours commuting during each day, from home to work, then to schools, then going back to work, then getting kids from the 3 different schools. We had 3 to 4 hours commuting each day. And by the end of the day, I can tell you neither of us was happy. So we had to address that time and make sure that our level of happiness had to increase. Either it was from Monday to Friday or during the weekend. We had to get things. All of us have different things that we like, but we had time as a family, as a whole, to also say that, okay, this was quality time, and I'm happy to do this as a family. For instance, we just came from 2 weeks traveling around Spain, and all of us have different interests, and we had to assess what was it that we were going to see, what we were going to eat, and in a whole as a family we took the decisions of what to do and what contributed the more to our happiness, our level of happiness.
I absolutely love that answer. And you just made me think about something in a way I've never thought about it before. At work, we spend time thinking about and assessing things like employee engagement, right? But and employee happiness and our employees satisfied with work. But we never apply that same thinking to our own family, right?
Yeah.
Family engagement. How much time when we spend together are we enjoying the time and enjoying each other, and really it's as important or more important than employee engagement.
Yes, and we also have to see that there are different interests. If I ask Manuel, my son, what his interest, his left 8 hours, he would say, I want to spend the 8 hours playing Nintendo. Or the middle daughter, she'll say, I want to be the 8 hours doing TikToks. Or the oldest one, she would spending the 8 hours reading. But that does not fully contribute for us as a family for our level of happiness. So yes, we really have to analyze this, understand the problem, or in this case, it's not a problem, but it's our values, it's what contributes for us as a whole, and then make sure that we address it, and we go for it.
Yes, absolutely. So that we understand our purpose together as not just as individuals, right? But as a family. And I can guarantee my son, If you ask him what he wants to do, he will tell you the 8 hours. Video games also the same around the world.
That's what my son would say.
All right, we have one last question from our Voitto students. How can you identify that process needs to be improved, no matter how simple and routine it is in our lives? And what questions should we ask ourselves to get started improving that process?
I get that question a lot. What I normally answer is, what nags you? What makes you a little bit angry? For me, it's like ironing. Or before, sometimes still is, the lack of organization at home. Everything's a mess and takes me 1 hour during the day organizing things. Or it's that little thing that you think just before going to sleep, that is, if I had an additional income at the end of the month. So that is what you need to improve. It's what nags you a little bit, and that's what you should address, because in the end, it's all about happiness. And as you say, it's what keeps me from being kind. The things that it's worrying me, that's what you should address.
I absolutely love that. So we should all monitor ourselves very, very closely and in our family what's making us feel like a little grumpier, right? And then apply our fabulous lean thinking. Anna,
Absolutely.
thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming on the show and sharing all of this wisdom with us. What final words do you have to leave people with to think about today?
Just spread the word. That's my main message is, spread the word. um, Let people know what lean is, because lean is just the basics. It's get things better in a simple way, without worries. Do it with kindness. So improve your way of being, improve your family way of being, a way of living, and that for sure will contribute for your improving your life, your work. And sometimes it's so easy and people don't know, that's just create value, eliminate waste, eliminate the things that drags you down. um, Spread the word and just be happy with it while you do it. Enjoy the ride.
I love it. And if people want to get in touch with you, where can they get in touch with you? And I'm sure people are going to want to read your book. So how can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can contact me on LinkedIn, with my name is Ana Canais Medina in there. Um, yes, I'm always available to chat a little bit and exchange experience about lean
Wonderful. Well, thank
fashion.
you. Thank you so, so much for joining us today. And as our episode is coming to a close, I'm going to leave everybody with some of our fabulous, fabulous highlights and insights. So, insight number one for everybody, well, household chores actually and give you a clear vision of what to do and how to develop your thoughts. We have all kinds of things like our laundry process, doing the dishes, getting groceries, all of those things, picking up children from school in commuting that we can use to learn to practice lean. And just remember, my start was learning on improving my laundry process. Insight number two, Anne's tip, calculating how much laundry you need to wash and iron for 5 days so that you can rest on the weekend. Figure out what the amount is, what the tack time is, and then make a plan to do it. So while everybody else is resting and relaxing, you can be resting and relaxing as well. Insight number three, team collaboration is essential to get results. And that's why kindness is so important because, and especially within your family, sometimes we get home from work and we're tired and we're grumpy and we may not be as kind to our family members as we are to our work folks, but your family is your team too. Imagine doing the laundry for everyone in the house is helping yourself. It's better with help. Insight number 4. Example is the best way to teach. Those of you who have children, I have children, we know that sometimes when we tell them to do something a certain way, they don't want to do it that way. But when they see our example, they're going to learn from our example. And honestly, this works pretty well at work too. Insight number 5. For better financial control, use lean. Detail everything you spend. You can do it in a spreadsheet. You can write it in a journal, on notes. When you see it visually, you can decide, oh, here's my goal for reducing my spending. And oh, I don't actually really need to do this. I can do something in a different way. It's a super good way. Make it visual and know what you're doing. Insight, last one, number 6, how to know what process to start working on. Does something bother you? Is it making you feel a little grumpy around the edges, as I always say? Then that is a process that you should start to work on, because when we feel tired and grumpy at home, we might not be as kind as we want to be. So give it a try. Lean at home works just as well as it works at work, and is just important to use at home as it is at work. Well, everyone, that's it for this week's episode of Cultura de Excelencia. Thank you for joining me and Ana Medina's today. It was a super fabulous episode. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone next week when we'll be talking about what you need to know about Lean in college, how you can use Lean to improve your studies, and how you can use it as a basis, studying Lean as a basis for getting your career started as well. And we'll be talking with another great woman in Lean. Until then, I hope you have a fabulous week filled with purpose, process improvement, and kindness. Bem, pessoal, esse foi o terceiro episódio do Cultura de Excelência. Muito obrigada, sejam term, a mim e a Ana Medina hoje. Espero ver todos vocês na semana que vem, onde vamos falar sobre o que você precisa saber para ser lean desde a faculdade, com mais uma mulher incrível no Lean. Até lá, espero que você tenha uma semana fabulosa e cheia de propósito, melhoria de processo e gentileza. Ciao, ciao, everybody!